Hi everyone, it's me, Tom. So this happened. And then we decided to go to Portugal. Not only was Lisbon the destination of our honeymoon, it is also the capital of Portugal. And today I want to talk about these. Perhaps Lisbon's most famous attraction, the yellow trams. The trams in Lisbon are called elétricos in Portuguese, and the first origins of this network date back to 1873 when they opened a horse-drawn tram on the flat sections of the city. Of course, if you've ever been to Lisbon, it's not that flat, so soon they were replaced by cable cars. Then, in 1895, Porto, Portugal's second largest city, opened an electric tram, and in 1901, Lisbon followed suit. Now, these trams that you see everywhere aren't from 1901, but they're not that much newer. They're called Remolados, which is Portuguese for remodeled or refurbished, and they've been around since the 1930s. So if some of these trams are over 80 years old, why didn't Lisbon ever replace them? Well, the answer lies in the streets of Lisbon. The 7 hills are very steep, and the streets are both very old and very narrow. Articulated trams with more than one car couldn't make the turns. Trams with more than one bogie would be too heavy and damage the streets. Therefore, the engineers decided that the trams that were currently running were best suited to fit the street's profile, and they've been running for that reason ever since. Currently, there are 6 elétricos lines run by Cariz, which is the city operator that operates public transportation from funiculars to this unique Elevador de Santa Justa, which was sadly out of service, and the trams. Now, the Lisbon Metro is operated by a separate company, but there's a common fare card for both systems called Viva Viagem. Cariz also operates a tourist tram, which is known as the 7 Hills of Lisbon tour. This tram uses the entire network and provides a hop-on, hop-off service, but it is much more expensive. Honestly, I want to try this service someday, but for now, I just recommend taking the yellow trams. They're only €3 if you buy a ticket with the driver, and they're part of the Viva Viagem daily pass, which is only $6.40. Let's ride tram 28. This is Lisbon's most famous tram, and throughout the entire day, this tram will be so full that you'll probably have difficulty snagging a seat. What makes this tram so unique is not only the fun districts that it goes through, like Alfama and Graça, but also the fact that this is the world's steepest adhesion railway. What does that mean? Well, an adhesion railway is any sort of railway that doesn't require a cable, cogwheel, any sort of assistance to climb up a mountain. That's right, these yellow Lisbon trams that are 80 years old are climbing the steepest tracks in the world without any help. To request a stop, you have to hit one of the buttons that are only on the right side of the tram. Is 28E too busy for you? Might I recommend tram route 24E? This tram starts at Praça Luís Camões and goes through the popular Principe Real neighborhood to Rato station, where you can change to the Metro Yellow line, and then onwards to the Campo Lide neighborhood. It is less popular, but that also means it's less frequent, and don't be surprised if you have to wait 20 minutes to get on this tram. It seems as though some stupid drivers have a hard time dealing with the tram. Not this one, though. We rode the tram until São Pedro de Alcântara, which is not only a popular and beautiful view spot of the city where you can buy some cool local art, but it's also where the Ascensor da Gloria can take you back down to the Restauradores area in the valley. And we rode this Ascensor da Gloria, but I'm saving that video for a different day. 24E is fun, nevertheless it doesn't beat the charm of the famous 28E as it winds up and down the streets of Alfama. Now there's one more tourist monument we wanted to go to, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's the famous fortress of Belem. The best way to get here is either by CP urban train or by tram 15E. Tram 15E isn't operated by these classic Remolado trams. It's the only tram in Lisbon that is operated by modern articulated trams. The best place to board the tram to Belem, tram 15E, is at the Praça de Comércio, between the Triumph Arch and the Tagus River. Here's one now. Maybe we can still catch it. For some reason the doors didn't open, and then the tram just left. No big deal, we're on vacation. We'll just wait for the next one. We had fabulous weather in Lisbon all week, but this day it was slightly hot, so we decided to hide under the arches of this building, which is actually the Ministry of Justice. You wait in the heat for a tram, and they give you a bus.
There's going to be 1 million people on this bus.
Yeah, if there had been a tram, then there would have been enough space. Okay, so maybe I was a little bit salty that they crammed us onto a bus instead of a longer modern tram. But at least we were lucky enough to get on the bus, because there were so many tourists headed towards Belem on this bus that it actually skipped every other stop where people were waiting to get on board. I guess that's what happens when you replace a tram service with a bus. The Belem neighborhood is actually quite a ways west from the main downtown Lisbon area, which is why they recommend you take a tram, or a bus in our case. We've made it to our destination, and though this doesn't look like much yet, if you turn around, there we go. The Mosteiro de Jerónimos, the Geronimo Monastery. This building was built in 1495 and is now a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Over there on the banks of the Tagus is the monument commemorating the explorers. In order to get to the monument, you have to cross the suburban train tracks, and we will be doing that in the cool underground. If anybody is really craving poutine... Okay, I know I just made fun of the poutine stand, but the fries were actually pretty good. And this was a nice spot to enjoy the views of the Tagus River and stay out of the heat for a little bit. There was a nice view of the 25 April bridge, including a Fertagus train that was traveling over the bridge right as we were sitting there. Lisbon's harbor is here. In the back you see the CP Linha de Cascais suburban trains. This harbor was full of fish, which might explain why codfish cakes are a local delicacy here in Lisbon. Be careful, please. We're dipping our feet in the water here at Belem. And this is also where we're going to end this video. The trams in Lisbon are such a cute way to travel around, and this is such a beautiful city to visit. We loved our stay here. We didn't want to risk being stuffed into a crowded bus again, so we found this really cool pink tuk-tuk. We haggled for the price a little bit, settled on something nice, and then this really sweet French lady took us in her pink tuk-tuk back to Baixada, the main downtown area of Lisbon. Look, here's one of those modern trams we could have ridden right at Caisto Sodre station, an important transfer hub in Lisbon. Oh well, this tuk-tuk experience was awesome too. Please still subscribe, please, because we have cool videos from all sorts of places around the world. Wherever there's trains, we'll be there. So we'll see you next time.